My next guest is one of the top prospects out there, 8-0. Keoni Diggs joining me here on the program. Keoni, how's it going, man?
Hey, what's up, my man? How you been doing, James?
I've been doing well. It's been a while. We were talking about this off air. We haven't done an interview in quite some time. It's great to finally catch up with you. And I was looking up your record and everything. And, we haven't seen you fight since December. So how have things been since your last fight with COVID and all the other madness going on in the world right now?
It's been crazy. We actually had something set up for May 29th, but it got pushed back. But we're looking to get rebooked real soon. So, yeah, everything – we were really, literally just ready to start up camp, and COVID kind of just put everything to a halt. We were trying to train where we could, and then everything, especially over in Hawaii, everything got locked down and couldn't do nothing for at least almost 3 months.
Wow. Okay. So very, very limited training, like you're kind of saying there now.
Yeah, the gym's only open maybe about 4 weeks ago. Maybe it's been open about a month now. But we were kind of on total lockdown with everything for a minute.
That's crazy. Yeah, I know everywhere's different, right? Everyone has different, depending on where they live, the type of restrictions and stuff. So that's crazy. What did you do with the time off? Because, you're a guy that wakes up every morning, goes training, and all of a sudden the gym's locked. Are you doing home workouts? What have you been up to?
I was doing home workouts, but just trying to stay busy. Trying to stay busy at home. Doing all kinds of stuff, family stuff, games, trying to restore shoes. I'm into sneakers big time, so getting into that, a lot of YouTube video watching, ordering some supplies off Amazon, doing stuff like that.
Really? That's cool.
The training was kind of getting a little hard to do, but we got a bag in the back, and then my wife helps me sometimes. She can hold a little bit of mitts and runs, going beach, a lot of surfing for sure. We was bodyboarding a lot. Was always going beach a lot. But yeah, that's about it. And eating too much bad food.
Yeah, no, it's tough. And being in Hawaii, you get great food, you got the beach. I mean, it's hard not to, of all places to be, on lockdown. Could be worse places to be, right? So at least you get that going.
And we live with my in-laws too, so it's like every day she's cooking something super good.
Oh, you got it made, man.
Always eating, yeah. So we're spoiled.
So you mentioned that May 29th fight. Was that for Bellator? Because I know you did. You had the one fight with them, but I wasn't sure if that was like a multi-fight contract.
Yes, it was. I signed a multi-fight contract with them a week after that December 21st fight, and yeah, we were set to fight Saad Awad May 29th.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, that's great that Bellator invested in you and picked you up. I don't blame them. Good performance in your last fight. Were you surprised the UFC never came and signed you? You were a guy that I thought for sure, especially the last time we did an interview, that they would have been eager to snatch you up.
Yeah, I really don't. I'm in a pretty stacked division at 155, but they kind of wanted me to go toward the contender series route, and I didn't see the COVID stuff happening or whatever, but they wanted me, and I wanted something a little bit more instant and ready to go, and Bellator was ready to make an investment in me, and that's just where the cards fell.
No, and it's smart. If you get an offer like that, you got to take it, right? I mean, that's, you got a family, you got to think financially as well too. So that's smart of you to go that route, which is really good. Let's talk about that win back in December. I know we're going back a few months, but I mean, where did that rank in terms of life moments? Getting that win in Hawaii for Bellator and this huge promotion, and the way it finished. I mean, you got a stoppage victory. Where did that rank for you?
It was pretty high up there. It was a little nostalgic. I made an Instagram post a while ago, and I usually real short on the whatever, how you comment on your picture, you do whatever, your little caption. But that one, I kind of did an explanation. I remember the very first time me fighting in the Blaisdell, and it was a huge thing, you know what I mean, back in the amateur days before I moved to Arizona for a while, and we did that. It was just fighting in the Blaisdell was a big thing. So to come back all those years later, and then get to fight in a big show at that same arena. Because if anybody know anything about MMA in Hawaii, Blaisdell is the biggest venue we got. You know what I mean? As far as indoor, because of course we got the stadium, but that's outdoor, so they don't really count. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was just surreal, super nostalgic. Just surreal being in that arena, in a different show, in a bigger show as a pro, and we're doing pretty good. And yeah, it was a great moment. It was a great moment for me, for sure.
And that's the benefit with Bellator. They actually go to Hawaii. I know the UFC's been trying to go there for years and they haven't been able to. So that's another bonus of being with them as opposed to the UFC, like I mentioned there. You referenced something there, training in Arizona. You were at the lab before, I know, for a little bit. How long have you been back in Hawaii? Because we're kind of catching up here. I mean, I'm trying to get up to speed on everything you've been up to. But I guess you moved back.
We kind of moved back January of last year, but I was doing my camps. I did this last camp December, all at home. But before that, I fought in Vegas September. That camp I did all at the lab though. And as for the January fight, I did all at the lab. So I've only really done one camp. I've been still going back and forth. I was gonna go back and help train. I mean, not help, but get help and be able to train with Benson and those guys and people that have actually fought him, which is a good, you know what I mean? You get a little bit more intel than some other people, so that kind of helps out. But and then all the Corona stuff again. So I'm just sitting tight until we get the fight rebooked, and I probably won't be leaving anywhere but to where we're gonna fight at, and they'd probably come back up because we still got the 14-day quarantine and all that kind of stuff. So there's no really going in and out, and they just extended it another month. It was supposed to be lifted in August 1st, where they could do the 72-hour pre-check or whatever with the COVID, but they pushed that back to September 1st now, so you can't come in to stay unless you 14-day quarantine. So it's kind of a sticky situation, you know what I mean? So just training and doing the best we can as of right now.
Right, and so by the sounds of it, they are trying to rebook that fight between you and Saad Awad, I guess just for a later date?
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. And you mentioned sort of being back to training a little bit. Like, is it still limited or is it pretty, close to what you had before in terms of your training camp?
It is different. It's different for sure. One of the main places that I train at is closed down, Gracie Technics. You know what I mean? Hawaii Elite is open. Nito's Boxing, where I do all of my striking at. But definitely, as soon as I get rebooked, hopefully Riley maybe be able to come in or something. But as of right now, Gracie Technics is closed down. So it does put a damper on certain things for sure, this Corona stuff.
And I know it hasn't been that long, but financially, are you holding up okay? I know you mentioned, making the shoes and things like that, trying to get other income in. I know you're with your in-laws.
Oh, it wasn't for income. That was just literally to pass the time, and I love shoes.
Oh, gotcha. No, I wasn't sure if that was kind of like a side hustle for you too. So
I seen that, but I'm not good enough like that to be charging people, not yet. But it was just trying to custom some of my own shoes, fix up a pair of my brother-in-law's Air Force One, some old ones, try to get the creases out, just do all kinds of different stuff on that. You know what I mean? I bought a couple Jordans off the Facebook Marketplace. I got to stay away from there. Facebook Marketplace can get crazy. Got to stay away. There's all kinds of little deals on there. You see the AirPods and headphones and just all kinds of shit you don't need. But you'll just, it's a good deal. And
got to take advantage. Yeah, exactly. That's what your brain's telling you, right?
So I got to stay away from there. But it was super fun doing that. But that's all more so I was doing with the shoe stuff. And I'm still doing them, but only on the weekend. Right now we're kind of honestly just training like I'm pretty much going to get rebooked. So it's going to be soon. So we've just been training like we're in camp right now, just working hard.
Yes, that makes sense. Recovery is a big part of training. I know you got to make sure you're taking care of those bumps and bruises. What's sort of your go-to routine, whether it's before practice, after practice, to make sure you're not feeling sore or anything? Because I know there's a lot of different methods fighters use.
Well, of course, the number one is just resting the body, ice bath, stretching a lot, foam rolling. These are just habitual things. Well, the ice bath, try to be habitual, but we're probably about 2 to 3 times a week on the ice baths, you know what I mean? Terphouse CBD, that's my CBD sponsor. They make a great, awesome CBD all spectrum product. I take that. I've got my supplements kind of, I guess, like collagen for the joints, plant-based protein.
Nice. Yeah, you get the whole works there. I mean, that stuff's important. We don't talk about it too much when it comes to fighters.
Just
but
normal stuff. Yeah, just normal stuff.
Yeah, no, it's good. So you said you're kind of preparing like the fight's going to happen. Ideally, when would you like to get back in there? Like, is there sort of a time frame in your head?
Whenever Bellator.
Whenever they call, it's like, yeah, you're good to go.
Yeah, so that's more so my attitude right now. Just training like I got a fight coming up, and you know the saying, you
Well,
ain't got to get
I was going to
ready
say
if
they're
you're ready.
announcing
You ain't got
cards
to
like
get
really
ready to
quickly.
stay ready.
So, I mean,
Yeah,
that's smart, right?
exactly. That's why I seen that thing that happened with Pettis and them, and I was like, oh. And then Benson's one just got announced only a little while ago as well. So it's like I said, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.
Right. How do you feel like you match up against Awad? I'm sure that fight is going to end up happening. How do you look at that from a style perspective?
I think it's a awesome fight. He's a veteran of the sport, biggest fight I've had to date. Just I think there's a lot of good things I can use, but yeah, he's a tough guy. Likes to brawl in the pocket. Got good overhand, decent boxing, decent kickboxing. Got good power. Big frame for 155. I'm ready for the challenge. It's exciting.
And then you talked there, we talked a bit about the MMA Lab. Do you still keep in touch with a lot of those guys, whether it's on
Oh yeah,
social
of
media or
course.
whatever? You guys still keeping tabs?
Yeah, I talked to Benson not too long ago.
Yeah, big
Like
fight.
a
I'm
couple,
looking
a
forward to
couple
that one with
weeks
him and
ago.
Chandler, the
Yeah, for
rematch.
sure. Chandler, and then just a little bit of if he has any little tips and tricks for me that I didn't get to have at the lab, or just just what they think, because they know my game better than anybody. I spent my pretty much my whole entire pro career with him and Crouch, so they know me better than a lot of other people. You know what I mean? Probably better than anybody as far as fighting. They know my strong points. They know where I'm weak, so they can dissect that, and they're super cerebral in the mind when it comes to fighting him and Crouch. So it's just something that another help I can get.
Last question before I let you go here. As a Hawaiian, I got to ask about the Max Holloway fight we just had recently, him and Volkanovski. What did you think of the fight? A lot of people felt like Max got robbed in that one. What was your thoughts?
Um, I ain't gonna say anything like that, but do you know gambling houses that usually give bets back?
Well, it's funny. I don't remember if it was that fight, but I have heard of. I actually heard of something that FanDuel did recently, where they like voided some bets or something because of a decision. I don't think it was that fight, but it was a different one. So no, I'm not
I
aware of
thought
it. It doesn't happen often.
I thought I read it on Instagram that they were for the Max Holloway fight.
Oh, is it? Oh, maybe it was. Yeah, I wasn't sure. I did see something that they were.
I
It was
thought
with
it was
FanDuel though.
yeah, no, it was if you had bet on him, I believe they refunded your bet.
Wow. I mean, that never happened. So that's pretty
And
crazy.
yeah, that's all FanDuel, so yeah, that's kind of a funny thing. Uh, like Max said, it is what it is. I don't know, but I think we have to do something about the judging. The judging is it's atrocious. It's crazy. Um,
What do you think are some solutions? I've been talking to fighters about this. They've said, get more judges, get five instead of three, get fighters that are judges, like, former fighters. I know there's bias there, but maybe you make sure you look down the card and be like, okay, any affiliation there? No, we could do that. And then there's also open scoring. Like, what are some solutions you see to fixing some of the judging issues?
I think having competent mixed martial art minds that are having that, especially that kind of power, you know what I mean, to to give you half of the money that you came for, you know what I mean, to they can determine the outcome on a fight. So they have a lot of power. There should be some type of criteria, like I think in any other sports, like NFL, or I'm not for sure on this, but I would think there's some type of criteria they got to follow. They can't just give any Tom, Dick, or Jane off the street and say, hey, you go and be a NBA ref. No, that's not really how that works. They're usually the same guys for 30 to 40 years and they retire, and then the same next set of people come in, but it's usually very competent basketball minded people or football or whatever, and they didn't just start doing it. You know what I mean? They're going as far as they have to do like pee wee footballs or what. You start with all those kinds of things, high school sports, collegiate sports. You work your way up. They don't just say, hey, you want to come and referee the NFL. They need to have some type of criteria, because some of these people are just ridiculous. It's crazy. The Max one, the Rose one before that. How did somebody? Because Andrade is so tough that she kept coming forward. So if you can take a beating and you can keep coming forward and not landing any strikes, then you're winning. I don't. It's you got to have competent minds in there judging those fights. It's just ridiculous. I'm not saying fighters. I'm not saying any of that, but you got to have competent minds in there. There's got to be some type of criteria.
Yeah. No, I'm with
Because
you there.
it's crazy.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
it's hurting people's careers too, right? Like, it's just
100%. Their families, like people are sticking their lives on the line, not just their livelihoods, but their actual lives. And for people just to make poor decisions, and this is not the first one, you know. You've been covering this a long time, so it's just crazy to just affect people's stuff like that. It's horrible.
tell you what isn't horrible, seeing you get back in the cage, man. Hopefully it all works out soon. Keoni, great catching up with you, man. Just remind people where they can find you on social media, and if you got any sponsors or thank yous or shout outs, I'll give you the last word.
Instagram's the same, Diggs808. Facebook, Keoni Diggs. I got an athlete page. Shout out Terphouse for linking me and you, getting this great interview in. That is about it.